All right, welcome back everybody. So today I'm going to be doing just a couple more things on the C3 today, on the 69. One thing that I did notice when I was underneath the car doing the whole oil pan thing, since I lowered the car, I don't know, months ago with those coilovers from QA1, the front sway bar is actually up higher now, and it's actually hitting part of the frame bumper bracket on the driver's side and potentially like binding. So I'm gonna have to address that today. I have a couple ideas in mind which I'm gonna do. It is a thicker sway bar and it does have Heim joints on it. So the Heim joints have already been adjusted all the way down, so I don't have a lot of room there. So I'm gonna have to come up with a creative solution just to get it down further so it doesn't actually bind on the frame, since now it has a little bit lower stance than it did originally. So I'm gonna work on that today. As you can see, it's been smacking up against there. So I'm gonna try to either shorten this link somehow or make a bracket just to lower this down a little bit. Because when this thing's completely compressed up there, it's sitting right on here. So I tried moving the sway bar over originally, so I'm gonna try to center it a little bit better, check for clearance all the way up, and just make sure there's no interference. So I'm gonna just take these sway bar links off now and just cycle the sway bar up. So now that I got it unbolted from the Heim joints there, I just want to show you what I was talking about. So I estimated this is probably close to ride height, maybe ½ inch off or so. So it has like no room to come up and it gets bottomed out on that. So I'm going to try to center this better because there's more clearance on the other side. I'm going to try to center it a little bit better. I'm going to loosen the center mounts, slide it over, and then reassess it. And then I'm going to see what I can do about shortening these. All right, so now that I have the sway bar kind of centered in here, it still hits this bracket a little bit. I straighten it out, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trim a little bit out on each side, just so I have enough clearance for this to come all the way up. Because even if I try to shorten this link or hang it down even lower, it's still gonna have an issue here. So the only solution here is just to trim a little bit of this bracket here. So I'm gonna start cutting up that. So I got that piece notched in here and just kind of ground that down smooth. So now, before it used to bottom out around there, and now it goes all the way up here. It probably won't need to go up that high, but it gives me enough clearance on both ends that it's no longer hitting here and stopping and binding the suspension. So that just gives us a little extra room. All right, so I'm gonna try to take a little bit out of these links here. I'm gonna try to maybe take just under ½ inch or so out of this. What I'm also going to do is, this has these thicker nuts in here. I have these smaller low profile nuts I'm going to replace this with, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a little piece out of here, and I'm going to take the same amount out of this. So it should definitely shorten it down just a little bit to give me some extra room. So I'm going to go ahead and just take some measurements and mark these, cut them down each, clean up the threads, and then put them back on. Just a quick little helpful tip whenever you're cutting like a bolt or something. I set the depth of how much I want to cut off here with a spare nut, the one that I'm not using from this. So when I start cutting down here, I'll have a straight cut down along the face of the nut, and I won't accidentally slip and mess the threads up on this side that I actually need. All right, so just a little before and after shot here. So I was able to get 9/16 total out of this. So it'll give me that much more room to move that sway bar down away from the frame. And plenty of thread to come up too if I have to extend it out at all. All right, here's just an up close view. I ended up wire wheeling them too, so now they look nice and shiny, and I'm gonna go put them right back on. All right, so it's all finished up. See, that's where I notched, I painted that, so there's plenty of clearance there. And then it's nice and short little sway bar length there. And that'll give me plenty of room. All right, so that's it for today's video. So hopefully that'll do the trick. It seems like it'll be completely fine now, but one less thing to worry about, and just one extra thing to check too if you do go super low or run coilovers or something like that. So enjoy the video, press like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.